Hello. Hello. Let's try to get this puppy started. First thing I'm going to do is hook the wire up for the electric fuel pump. Hook the wire for the ignition coil through the ballast resistor. Now we should be ready to start it. Node to its partial Gala inheritance. Node flat because just disconnects underneath the driver's seat somewhere about where I showed you. Oil pressure at idle is about 30 psi. A little bit of concern with, if you notice, the front propeller shaft is turning in neutral. If I look underneath, you can see the brake drum is turning. Now I can stop those by hand, so I don't know if that's vibration or exactly what it is. Yellow wire here is for the electric fuel pump, which is a very low volume fuel pump. Very low, like 2 gallons a minute or something like that. But it does appear to keep the fuel filter filled without flooding out the carburetor. So test of time will tell. See where the original fuel pump was, I put a knockout. Sounds like it's running pretty good. Just a couple weeks ago, this had some valves rusted shut in the up position. But I think they sound to me like they're holding okay. Spark plugs are very old, should be replaced. I had a friend from California in last week. We had one heck of a time getting this thing started after this engine's probably set for a couple of years. But we eventually got it started. The 1200-degree grill paint on the exhaust manifold was smoking last week, but today it seems good, like it's handling the temperature. I had noticed some leaking around the head gasket. I went and retightened everything back down to 65 pounds, but it appears when it warms up it's still leaking again. I don't know why that is. I'm going to have to do some consulting on it, get some consulting on that. I mean, the water is good and hot now. I can feel I don't have the temperature gauge wired in. I don't have anything wired in. You can see inside I kind of stripped the wiring out. So I'm making room to put an original original air filter back in. And that spot had been occupied by a lot of wiring. So I got a little bit of wiring to do yet. But I want to get the original air filter, which I restored one over there in the shelf. I want to get that in place, but I'm missing the brackets yet. So I want to be able to start taking, the wire from the alternator into the dash, hook it to the amp meter, and get things wired up. Now, I'm going to shut it down. I can disconnect the fuel pump. It'll run for actually a fairly long time without the fuel pump hooked up. But as soon as I disconnect the wire to the ignition coil, it shuts down. And that's it. The replacement Willys engine appears to be working.